rise for the playing of our national anthem.
You wouldn't have missed Trevor's that's the right next, right? From Morelli Field at Melrose High School, Melrose, Mass. is Blue Sox baseball here on LSP.
On the mound tonight for the Americans, number 36, Ben Castlevoy.
Tonight, the Lexington Blue Sox, who have wrapped up first place in the ICL regular season standings, take on the Melrose Americans. Blue Sox entering at 25-1, and Melrose at 15-9-1. Melrose does have a playoff berth in hand, but still plenty to play for as we enter the final week of the Intercity League regular season. Good evening, everybody. Stanfield here with you, ready to bring the play-by-play story. There you see the ICL standings entering play tonight. The Blue Sox have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and 4 of the 5 playoff teams have been decided. It's now down to the Chiefs or the Expos for the last spot. And there's a number of scenarios where that last playoff spot could be clinched tonight. Some seedings could be wrapped up as well. And I just realized that we've still got the internal mic still going in the camera. I'm tired, boss. Long weekend. Let's just leave it at that. Anyways, David Vanderzaan is going to lead things off for the Blue Sox. Right fielder tonight is DVZ. Ben Castlevoy on the bump for the Melrose Americans. First pitch coming at you, 7:29. Up and away, we're underway. Boy. Long day, folks. What a week, huh? Captain, it's I mean, it's 7:30 on Monday. Anyway. Vanderzaan gets under this one into shallow right. Called off at the last moment is the second baseman Klein, so Barry can come in and grab the first out of the ball game. So here's Jesse McCullough.
Now batting the second baseman, Jesse McCullough.
On the outside corner for strike one. When the ICL schedule was originally released, this was to be the regular season finale for both teams. Ha ha ha, obviously, with weather delays stretching out this final week of the season a little bit more, but McCullough behind 0-2. This is supposed to be the third and final game of the season between the Blue Sox and the Americans. That's upstairs for ball one. This is now the second game. And the third game, well, actually, technically was the first. will be completed tomorrow at LHS. Well, grounder comebacker up the middle, knocked down by Casavoy, and flips on to first for out number 2. That was the one that...
Now batting, the third baseman, Eric Ramirez.
That was the game, by the way, that was suspended when it was the first hot day of the summer in Lexington, and rolling blackouts forced the power to go out at center field. Thus, no lights to finish a game with an 8 o'clock first pitch. Ramirez having a fine season, MVP caliber stats. Even the count right now, 1-1. Down away for ball, 2-1. Fouls that one off onto Linfells Parkway. 2-2. Ramirez, interestingly, is not qualified for the league leaders right now because the league leaders have to have 65 plate appearances. Dude's got 62 entering play. It's number 63 of the year for him. It's a full count. That's what happens. I guess we only walk twice over the course of the season. Just barely gets a piece of that one, but rate stats, schmate stats. Slash line of 424, 435, 627 with 10 doubles, 1 triple, and 12 ribbies, and 6 of 8 in steals. To have the team lead in that category with Jesse McCullough, and he draws a 2-out walk. So here is Nick Anderson.
Out batting, the center fielder, Nick Anderson.
Nick, slashing 436, 507, 709. I, too, can play Road to the Show on rookie mode. 4 doubles, 4 triples, 1 homer, 21 ribbies, 10 walks, and 3 for 6. That's maybe the only black mark you can put on Anderson's stats this year. Only 50% rate on the stolen bases, but don't have to steal bases when you're just racking up the total bases with your bat. Ramirez is going to pick up a steal here as Anderson was able to check his swing. Count is 1-1, and Ramirez with his 7th steal of the year. I take that back. It's actually tied. That was actually tied for second on the team, not tied for first with McCullough. He's now second on the team by himself behind Jake McElroy. Runner in scoring position for Anderson here in the top of the first. Runner goes for third. Here's the throw down to third, and it is not in time. Again, there are few people who visibly have so much fun playing the game and are so good at it too, the way Eric Ramirez is. And favoring his hand right now a little bit as he gets back to the third base bag, but seems to be okay, and he's already got his uniform dirty, so he's already had a good day at the ballpark. That is not a good day at the ballpark if that comes in a little any closer to Anderson. It is a full count. Luis Atiles is on deck. Casavoy with the payoff. Outside, back-to-back 2-out walks. And another guy who can pick him up and put him down, make his way to first base on the free pass.
Out batting, the shortstop, Luis Atiles.
Atiles slashing 410, 529, 564, 1094 OPS, 3 doubles, 1 homer, and 11 ribbies and 11 walks, 7 strikeouts, 5 out of 6 in stolen base attempts. Takes low for ball 1, no advance by Anderson at first base. Atiles, well, we've talked about his leadership qualities since his arrival in mid-June. It's only recently that his
statistics have started to line up with the value he has to the team. He drives this one into left center field. And did not catch that, a diving attempt in left field by Libby, but could not come up with it. And Atiles has a 2-run, 2-out double. Trying to do his Jim Edmonds impression there in the left center field gap was Libby. Fine effort, but close only counts in hating and hand grenades, so.
Now batting the extra hitter, Anderson Jimenez.
2-0 Blue Sox, thanks to Atiles' double. His 4th of the year, and RBI is 12 and 13. There's Anderson Jimenez as Atiles takes off for third. The throw is not in time. Another stolen base for the Blue Sox here in the first inning. 3 so far. After Eric picked up 2 on his trip around the bases. Here's Jimenez. Now in the count 1-1. Glad Rick did me a favor and broke up the Andersons in the lineup this time. Nick Anderson and Anderson Jimenez. And AJ's going to wear that in the small of the back. That is now 4 consecutive 2-out base runners.
Now batting the left fielder, Ryan Grundy.
And time's going to be called here. So we'll have a conference of the mound for the Americans trying to work their way out of this bucket of syrup. Hadn't got a chance to give you Casavoy's numbers on the year. This is his 9th appearance. He is 1-2 with a 3.89 ERA in 27 innings. He's allowed 28 hits, 18 runs, 15 of which are earned. Walked 10, struck out 26, allowed 3 home runs, hit 9 batters, now 10 with AJ, and thrown 1 wild pitch. Got his first win of the year in his last appearance on July 23rd against the Mad Dogs. 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks. 4 Ks, quad 4s there. Runners at the corners, 2 down for Ryan Grundy. Good speed pitch there as Grundy way out in front, and the count is 0-2. 2 runs home on the 2-out, 2-run double by Luis Atiles, who is currently at third with Jimenez at first. Pitch is outside, and Jimenez is going to take second uncontested as Bourgeois tried to frame it on the outside corner. No such luck. It is 1-2. And Grundy drives this one into deep right field, back to the wall. It bounces up against the wall. This is going to be another 2-run extra base hit, a 2-run double with 2 outs again, this time for Ryan Grundy, and it's 4-0.
Designated hitter, Brian Acosta.
Embrace the grunt. Here's Brian Acosta. Off the end of the bat into shallow center field, dropping quickly, and that gets down. First pitch swing, and Grundy is going to score. RBI single. It is 5-0. Acosta keeping the line moving. And folks, this is vintage Blue Sox right now. The first 2 were retired, and all of this has happened
Now batting the first baseman, Luke Ward.
with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Ward, the 7th man to bat since the first 2 were retired. Vander's out and McCullough. Inside corner strike 1 to Luke Ward. 0-2. Only Cole Donato getting a gift of the top of the first here. Excellent run support before he even throws his first pitch of the ball game. Runner goes. Pitches up and away. Throw down to second is in time for the out that retires the side. But the Blue Sox score 5 times after the first 2 were retired. Happening in the books, Blue Sox 5 and the Americans coming up. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the codes and link on the screen and in the description. For a discount on your order, we may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. Cole Donato, as I mentioned, toeing the rubber tonight for the Blue Sox, looking to pick up his second consecutive victory. He got his first victory of the year in his last appearance against the Bulldogs on July 28th, went 4 1/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 4 earned runs, walked 2, and struck out 6. Overall in the year, 1-0 in 8 appearances, 14 2/3 innings, at a 2.39 ERA, allowed 14 hits, 8 runs, 5 which are earned, walked 9, struck out 20. He had only allowed 1 earned run in his first, 9 2/3, 10 1/3 innings before that Bulldogs start, which was by far the longest outing of the season for Cole. He had not gone more than 2 innings in any previous appearance and went 4 1/3 en route to the dub against the Bulldogs last time out. So the Americans got to play catch-up here. They got the first win of the season over the Blue Sox here at Morelli earlier this year. That was a game.
Now batting the shortstop, Pat Costigan.
Where Cole Donato actually did make an appearance, went 2 innings, allowed 1 hit, 1 run, walked 2, and struck out 3. That was a very different Blue Sox team at that time. This is a Blue Sox team now that's firing on all cylinders, and as much credit as I give to Luis Atiles, that, he's not taking every at-bat. He's not throwing every pitch. I don't think he's thrown a pitch at all this year. Anyways, 1-0 is the count to Costigan. Team sport, folks. 1-1. Costigan, Berry, and Jennings due up here in the bottom of the first for the Melrose Americans. And that'll be fouled off the other way and off the top of the Americans' dugout. Ugly finder. It is 1-2. Nah, I'm just kidding. Love you guys. Please no hate mail from the Americans faithful. It's a joke, kid. Over the top, that changeup for strike 3. 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the first. Sorry, I got the arrow wrong.
Now batting the right fielder, Aiden Barry.
So here's Aiden Barry. Barry playing in his 20th game of the year. Slashing .265, .413, .327, 8 of 9 stolen base attempts. 1 double, 1 triple, 7 ribbies, 12 walks to 11 Ks, and takes a strike. Behind 0-1. And that's no joke, folks. On the bottom right of your screen, 5-0 Blue Sox, and we're in the bottom of the first. Vintage Blue Sox in that top of the first. Their patented 2-out, nobody on explosions. After Vanderzaan and McCullough were retired. Ground to the right side, 1-2. Those became a recurring theme for the vaunted Blue Sox offenses of years past. Early in my days working with the team. The Danny Grahams, of course, the Pete Frady's, and the Jeff Vigers, and the Justin Wrights, and the Ross Curleys of the world. Cannot get too comfortable against the Blue Sox offense, historically speaking. Just down and away, and the count is full to Aiden Barry with John Jennings due up next. Let them get on. Klein, the second baseman, is due up fourth. 3-2 from Donato to Barry. Another changeup swung on and missed for strike 3. Well, that's a great out pitch against a couple of lefties. Now here comes the righty power hitter, Jennings. Jennings playing his 18th game of the year. Slashing 326, 415, 326. No extra base hits yet. 10 RBIs. Fouls that one off for strike 1. The man who last year posted a career high in OPS of 1205, 2 doubles, 5 homers, 19 ribbies. Grounds that one foul, another strike. Had his second best output for home runs in a season, 5. And his second, and tied for second best RBI output with 19. Had 4 homers and 28 ribbies in 2018, and 6 homers and 19 RBIs in 2021. A little blooper down the first base line. That is a fair ball and a base hit for Jennings with 2 out. And we'll see if that leads to some magic for the Americans to try and claw their way back into this one.
Now batting, the second baseman, Chris Klein.
Here's Chris Klein. Second baseman playing in his 25th game of the year. 250, 453, 400 is his slash line with 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 9 ribbies. And takes outside for ball 1. Fouls that one off. Rick DeAngelis coming out to hand the baseball back to his catcher, Max Dushny, and also have a word with the umpire as there's a, they can obviously knock the cobwebs loose a little bit if you're a catcher, but it doesn't look that bad from here, but you're on the side of caution, right? As we wait for Ramirez and Dushny and Donato to sort things out. Here are the clinching scenarios tonight in the Intercity League. The Mad Dogs can clinch a first-round bye, which means first, second, or third, of course, because the Blue Sox have wrapped up first. They can clinch at least third place with a win tonight, or a loss by the Bulldogs, or if they tie and the Bulldogs also tie in their game. Americans tonight and clinch a first-round bye if they win this one and the Bulldogs lose. The Chiefs, losing skid at the absolute worst time, still control their own destiny in terms of the postseason. A win gets them the last playoff berth. A loss by the Expos also gets it there. Or a tie and an Expos tie. 2-2. To Klein. Libby due up next. What do you got for a put away on a right-handed batter? Breaking ball coming in the front door for strike 3, and Cole Donato strikes out the side. Does allow the 2-out single, but nothing beyond that. 5-0 after 1. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly for all the deets. Ward, Dushney, and Vanderzouen due up here in the top of the second for the Blue Sox.
Now batting the first baseman, Luke Ward.
Ward, of course, at bat when Acosta was caught stealing to end that 5-run top of the first for the Blue Sox. Inside corner for strike one to Luke Ward. Again, this game doesn't mean anything as far as the Blue Sox are concerned with their playoff positioning. Up the elevator shaft and caught by the catcher, Bourgeois, for quick out number one.
Now batting the catcher, Max Dusty.
Here's Dush. Blue Sox have first wrapped up, but there's always that, debate over how much do you play your regulars when you know you have nothing more to play for before the postseason, because you don't want them to get rusty. Does your opposition, who's fighting for playoff positioning, have anything to do with your mindset here? Because here's something to consider with the ICL standings. First place belongs to the Blue Sox. The Mad Dogs and Americans and the Bulldogs are in the playoffs. We still wait to see if it's going to be the Chiefs or the Expos in the last slot. But no other slot 2 through 5 has been wrapped up. If you finish in third, you're obviously going to be on the road. You're going to be you're not going to have home field advantage in the semifinals. But at least you get to avoid that dreaded one-game playoff between 4 and 5. And literally any team that's still in it other than the Blue Sox could end up in that position. Like even the Mad Dogs, if things go down the toilet in their last 2 games.
Now batting the right fielder.
That's a play that Pat Costigan can make pretty easily, but couldn't scoop it cleanly, so Dush is on first after the E6. One down here is Mrs. Vanderzouen's baby boy. Looking to get a plate of attendees after seemingly everyone else did in the top of the first. 0-1 is the count. Runs inside and is 1-1. Now Dush is averaging OBP numbers not nearly as good as they were last year. But sometimes all I have to do is put it in play and good things can happen if you're an offense anyways. Not great for Costigan, obviously, there. Fortunate strike call there for Castavoy. Has him ahead 1-2. That is down and away, and DVZ says, don't go nowhere, Dush. 2-2 is the count. With one down, a runner at first. Top of the second, 5-0 Blue Sox. Outside, and it goes to a full count. It's not the first time we've seen Bourgeois really try to pull one back to make it look real good for the home plate umpire, but didn't get the call either of those times. Runner goes, and the pitch is outside for ball 4. And the bases, it's now first and second with one down.
Now batting the second baseman.
DVZ aboard for the first time. And now here's McCullough. McCullough takes high for a ball. Jesse slashing 394, 459, 455, 6 for 6 in steals, 2 doubles and 5 ribbies and 4 walks entering play tonight. 0 for 1 so far, though. This is his 13th game of the year, and he's got 13 hits. 0 for 2 in his last appearance, with a run scored, though, and an RBI and a walk against the Malton Mad Dogs on the 29th. 2-1 is the count to McCullough. One down here in the top of the second. 5-0 Blue Sox. A 5 spot in the top of the first for the visitors after the first two were retired. Classic Blue Sox bases empty, 2 out rally there to get things going in the penultimate game of the season for Lexington. 2-2 now the count to McCullough. Off the end of the bat into right field, and that'll be a diving catch. He caught it. Dushney will tag and get to third, but what an effort by Barry. Seen the Americans outfielders lay out for some of these, and I cannot knock the hustle at all. And finally got one to stick there with Barry sticking the landing on that catch, 2 down.
Now batting the third baseman, Eric Ramirez.
It might honestly have been, might have ended up being the same result either way, though, when you think about it, as DVZ is going to motor on into second. I think even if Barry traps that, I don't know, after those wheels from DVZ, maybe not. He's got a shot to force the man in the middle. Probably would have been first and third, 2 down anyways. Here is Ramirez, who got the party started with a 2-out walk, a couple of 2-out walks in that 5-run rally last inning, and now he's ahead 3-0. And Casavoy cannot afford to dig himself any deeper. Action already warming behind him. That is outside a 4-pitch walk to Eric Ramirez. Loads the bases with 2 down for Mr. Anderson.
Now batting the center fielder, Nick Anderson.
Kevin Burgoyne is going to come out to the mound. And is that already going to be it for Casavoy? It looks that way. And Casavoy's night is done after just an inning and 2/3. Still responsible for all 3 runners on base. And we have a pitching change coming to you from Morelli. When I say LSP has something for everyone since 2011, I, by God, mean it. Sports, live events, pet sitting, walking, tech help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree, LSP37, or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need.
Now on the mound for the Americans, number 40, Matt Chiodo.
Here's Matt Chiodo to take over on the mound for the Melrose Americans. And if you had a lefty available to you, if you're Kevin Burgoyne, I'm sure you would have wanted one up against Nick Anderson here. But Chiodo, when you look at his numbers this year, this is a real chance to test his mettle or a chance for the Blue Sox to put this one out of reach early. This is Chiodo's 9th appearance of the year. He has no decisions and an 8.40 ERA. Keep in mind, folks, in the ICL, ERA is out of 7 because we play 7 innings. So that's more than an earned run per inning. In 10 innings, has allowed 23 hits, 14 runs, 12 which are earned, walked 8, struck out 8, hit 1 batter, and committed 1 balk. So Nick Anderson hoping to take full advantage of those numbers, and Matt Chiodo hoping to maybe catch him with an RKO out of nowhere and maybe turn the momentum back towards Melrose. Chiodo was much better last year in 4 appearances, was 1-0 with 1 save at a .327 in 15 innings. This is his first ever appearance against the Blue Sox, and he bounces that one to the plate, but Nick Anderson says everybody hole up, and it's ball 1. Bases full of Blue Sox. Dushney at third. Vanderzoun at second, Ramirez at first, and a 1-0 count to Nick Anderson. Chiodo winds and delivers, and that'll be on the inside corner for a strike. It is 1-1. Ooh, what a time to break out the off speed. Anderson sitting fastball all the way clearly and got bamboozled. 1-2. Got him! What a fine performance there from Matt Chiodo to get out of that Dragon's Den unscathed. $1.50 in the books. 5-0 still. The Americans could breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts, or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Email yours truly for game videos, or go to Creative Spring for merch.
Now batting, the left fielder, Ian Libby.
Ian Libby and Bourgeois and Giardina do up here in the bottom of the second for the Melrose Americans. Matt Chiodo, the magic disappearing trick with a couple of those change-ups on Nick Anderson to get out of that bases-loaded jam with no runs allowed in the top half of this inning. So it's still 5-0. Blue Sox still very much in control, but maybe some life here for the Americans. Let's see if they can capitalize on the momentum granted them by Matt Chiodo's strikeout of the all-powerful Nick Anderson. It is a 2-0 count now to Libby. Hitters count here for the number 5 hitter in the Americans lineup. And he fouls that one off. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Picking up the speed on the last couple is Donato, and back to even at 2-2. Libby playing his 21st game, slashing .214, .514, .286, but gets rung up on strike 3 called for out number 1. 4th strikeout in 4 possible outs so far for Donato.
Now batting, the catcher, Brian Borges.
You say Burgess, I say Bourgeois. I only say that because I go to Montreal way too frequently. Bonsoir, madame et monsieur. Bienvenue. I need to get into junior hockey mode soon, though. Season coming sooner than you expect. 1-0 is the count to the Americans catcher. Outer edge for strike 1. Bourgeois playing his 13th game, 4-14, 5-14, 724 is his slash line, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 13 ribbies, and twice as many walks as strikeouts, 6-3. But now in a hole here, 1-2 against Cole Donato. 1 for 4 in his last appearance against the Chiefs on July 28th. Down away for a ball to even the count. He has 4 hits in his last 9 at-bats with 2 runs, a homer, and 3 ribbies in that time span dating back to July 16th. Fouled off. We'll do it again at 2-2. And that's what's at stake with tonight's action. Obviously nothing that really affects the Blue Sox. The Blue Sox can't affect that second item. Fouled off. Good battle here by Bourgeois. Again, even though the Americans do have a playoff spot wrapped up, none of the seeds 2 through 5 have been established yet. Still waiting to figure out who number 5 is. And again, the Chiefs control their destiny in that regard. A win or an Expos loss, and they're in. Popped up into center field. And Mr. Anderson tracks that one down for out number 2. First non-strikeout out of the ball game for Coltonado.
How batting, the designated hitter, Tad Jardinio.
Yeah, this is a very different animal than the days Satchel Paige waving his own fielders off the field and just striking out the side. Here's Tad Giardina. Fouls that one off of the dish for strike 1. Tad playing his 21st game, 240, 367, 420 slash line, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, 8 ribbies, 6 walks, but 22 strikeouts. Off the end of the bat, and silence announcer boy, a 2-out single.
Now batting, the third baseman, Sean McPhee.
See what Sean McPhee can do with 2 outs and a runner aboard. Sean playing in his 20th game of the year, 229, 400, 343 is his slash line. Checks his swing, but it's a strike anyways. It is 0-1, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 8 ribbies, and 8 walks to 7 Ks for Mr. McPhee. Not Mr. McFeely. It's not me. That was the delivery guy on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. 0-2. The speedy delivery guy, Mr. McFeely. McFeely was actually Fred Rogers' middle name. And Fred Rogers' given first name was Fred, not Frederick or Richard or... Oh, just Fred. 1-2. Or would be a much better place if watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was compulsory. Don't at me. You know I'm right. 2-2. Giardina at first after the 2-out single. McPhee trying to keep the line moving here. Why even look back at second? Still 2-2. Giardina still firmly planted at first right now. And McPhee still firmly planted in the batter's box. Not going anywhere yet. 2-2. Here we go again. Great battle here by McPhee. Now you're down big early, but worst thing you can do in that situation is give away at-bats, and that is something McPhee is absolutely not doing right now. Another 2-2. Here it comes. Fouled off. On Linfels Parkway again, remains 2-2. Good contact there, but way too far behind that one was McPhee. So if you see that, he's slowed down. You try to blow the fastball by him. He stayed with it. Still fouled off the other way, though. Off the end of the bat. Really reached out there and got it. Still alive here at 2-2. Remember, we're only in the bottom of the second. It's a lot of baseball to be played. 5 spot in the top of the first is great shock and awe stuff, but Americans still got outs to play with. 2-2. Absolute cinema. The bottom of the second of a game late in the regular season where both teams have a playoff spot wrapped up, right? Yeah, it's a sign of great competition. 2-2 again. Donato with the arm dangling comes set. At some point, you do have to do that to see if he'll chase. He did not. So Giardino will be off with the next pitch. Donato comes set. Payoff. Here it is. There goes Giardina. Start again. Ferris due up next. If McPhee can win this epic. Three-two once again. It's a pickoff attempt, but it goes into foul territory. Giardina's taking off for second, and he'll get there. Wow. Well, that can change the complexion because Giardino won't have the running start anymore, but a base hit now should bring him home. 3-2 for reals this time. Ball 4. Well, in the end, Giardino's going to be in the same place he would have been anyways.
Now batting the first baseman, Daniel Ferris.
So the Americans dragging out these 2 out at-bats here, just like the Blue Sox did. And now it's first and second for Daniel Ferris. Fouls the first one the other way for strike one. Now, if you go back to the first inning, the changeup was working really well for Donato. But the changeup is less effective against righties. Now that you're facing a lefty again, you might see that a bit more here as Donato tries to do his best Harry Houdini impression. I don't mean getting gut punched to death literally. 0-2. Google is free, kids. Ferris slashing 125, 222, 167 in 24 ABs. 1 RBI and 3 walks. Fouled off. Well, they ain't going quietly, that's for sure. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the mitt, in fact. And the side is retired, and all that battling and scrapping with 2 outs for the Americans goes for naught. C'est la vie. 2 in the books, 5-0 Blue Sox. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring. Don't forget to subscribe. There's a subscribe button on YouTube. Membership is also available. LSP 37. It tastes great on a cracker. Atiles, Jimenez, and Grundy do up here in the top of the third. 5-0 is our score. Blue Sox on top of the Americans. A little bit of a delay here as we are awaiting a third base coach maybe for the Blue Sox. I guess we're going to have to start with that one. I don't know what to do with my hands. 1-0 is the count to Luis. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Intercity League, Bulldogs visiting the Chiefs. That just got underway 15 minutes ago or so at Maplewood, and Malden Mad Dogs borrowing LHS for home tonight. That's fouled off the other way, 1-1. And they're hosting the Expos. That Chiefs game, I mean, every Chiefs game the last couple of weeks it's been wild to look at that and look at these results and see what happened. I mean, I haven't been in all those games. So like, Teddy or Miles or Perry could tell me better than I could tell you. Little flare down the third baseline foul. But the Chiefs only have one win. Excuse me. They have no wins and just 1 point in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll do math later. Up the middle. Fine effort by Koskin, but that one will be a base hit. Blue Sox get the leadoff man on. What a concept.
How about him? The extra hitter, Anderson Jimenez.
The Chiefs have 1 point out of a possible 16 in their last 8 games. You turn one of those losses into a win. Let's back safely. You turn one of those losses in those 7 games they lost into a win. You're not on pins and needles anymore. Popped up in right center. Now number 1. And to think that it could have been.
Now batting the left fielder, Ryan Grundy.
And to think that it actually could have been, it could be 8 straight losses. If it weren't for the 5-5 Haymaker Fest against the Blue Sox back on July 23rd. Grundy takes outside for a ball. I saw Matt Chioda. Is he Joe's son? Yeah. Okay.
So the 5 runs first was the 4th time we've scored 5 or more runs in the first inning this season.
Mm-hmm.
The last time was the game at Stone.
Mm-hmm. Is that the most times we've scored 5 or more in the first inning in a season? Well, you know your homework now, kids. But, yeah, 4th time, Bruce just relaying the news, 4th time this season that the Blue Sox have scored at least 5 runs in the first inning. And they did it in their patented 2-out, nobody on, rope-a-dope way, eh? Oh, that pickoff attempt goes into foul territory, and Luis into second. Yep, but our failed pickoff attempt, it didn't end up coming back to bite us. We'll see if Grundy can have a little better success off of this one. Fly ball to center. Track down, and Luis trying to bluff another errant throw. 2 down, and here's Acosta.
Brian Acosta.
RBI base hit off the end of the bat his first time up, but then was caught stealing to end the top of the first. Fouled off, 0-1. I talk about the visible, palpable joy with which Eric Ramirez plays the game of baseball, and that rubs off on his teammates, you can tell. Acosta into left center field, and that will get down for a base hit. Here comes Atiles to score. Couple hits, a couple RBIs for Brian Acosta. It is 6-0.
Now batting, the first baseman, Luke Ward.
Here's Luke Ward, and I'm sure he's thinking, come on, Brian, let me have a chance to drive you in this time. As he had to do the Statue of Liberty play while Acosta was thrown out, stealing for the final out of the top of the first, and comes up empty there for strike one. So Acosta with a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs. And that marks his first multi-hit game of the year, his first multi-RBI game of the year. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Luke Ward, side retired, but Acosta helps the Blue Sox extend the lead to 6-0 after 2.5. Our next broadcast tomorrow night, same teams, same channel. The completion of that suspended game back in early June and the completion of the 2025 regular season. If you had looked at the schedule a couple days ago when the completion / makeup was posted for tomorrow, it's originally listed as being at Minuteman. It is, in fact, at LHS tomorrow night. Chris Del Sordo, if you're watching, you're listening, take notes.
Apologies for the confusion. The scoreboard does say 6-0. I know that looks like a 5. That's a 6.
Yep, sometimes those lights can go out, and not the easiest thing to replace on those scoreboards, eh? At any rate.
Now batting, the center fielder, Alex Fernandez.
Alex Fernandez finally getting his first AB of the ballgame, the number 10 hitter in the Melrose Americans lineup. And before Donato even throws a pitch, Dushny's going to come out, have a word with him, then head back behind the plate. Fernandez playing his 24th game of the year, slashing 286, 397, 321, 2 doubles, and 10 ribbies. Grounds this one to the left side, fielded cleanly by Ramirez. Offline throw, and he's safe. Ward tried to dive back and tag the bag with his glove, not in time. And the leadoff man aboard for the Americans.
Now batting, the shortstop, Pat Costigan.
A ball hit that sharply over to third. Stands a very good chance of eating up the third baseman. Ramirez fielded it pristinely, but the throw pulled Ward off the line and didn't get back in time to get the out. So Donato says, I'll take matters into my own hands and get strike one swinging on Pat Costigan. Costigan only in his 13th game of the year, slashing 308, 426, 385, and no errant pickoff this time, just an unsuccessful one. 3 doubles, 11 ribbies, 8 walks to 5 Ks for Costigan entering play tonight. Another pickoff attempt. Again, Ward able to hang on to this one, but Fernandez back safely. Costigan had a career high in OPS and steals and home runs and RBIs in almost every statistical category last year. Slash 329, 440, 579, 11 out of 12 in stolen base attempts, 8 doubles, 1 triple, 3 homers, 23 ribbies, and 14 walks to just 6 strikeouts. Sure, Juba would be proud if he wasn't on the other side of the diamond. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, though, Mr. Costigan. 1 down.
Now batting, the right fielder, Aiden Barry.
Aiden Barry to bat for the second time. Back on June 9th, the one game between these two teams that's actually been completed. 1-for-1 with a couple walks, a couple runs scored. He also had a stolen base in that game and then didn't have another one until July 15th and 16th, in which he had 3 in the span of 2 games against the Bulldogs and Mad Dogs, and hasn't had a stolen base since that point. 2-0. What do we got for the count? No. Definitely a strike now. Three and one is the count, as that one just missed inside. Donato with a look at first, comes set. And comes home with it, fouled into the screen. Full count. Three and two the count with 1 on and 1 down here in the bottom of the third, 6-0 Blue Sox. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Cole Donato. Half a dozen now.
Now batting, the extra hitter, John Jennings.
Struck out the side in the first. Back-to-back Ks after Fernandez reached to start this inning. There's a tough test in Jennings. Grounder to second. Inning over. Still 6-0 Blue Sox after 3. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the checkout codes and the link on the screen and in the description. For a discount on your order, we may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. Dushny, Vanderzowen, and McCullough due up here in the top of the fourth. 6-0 is our score. Blue Sox on top of the Americans. That's me. That's us. That's where we are. That's Dushny ground that foul for strike one. Dush reached on an error his first time up. 5 spot in the top of the first, then 1 run on a 2-out single by Brian Acosta in the third. All of the Blue Sox runs have come with 2 outs. In fact, this game started with the first 2 hitters in the Blue Sox order being retired. Leaping attempt by Costigan. He is leaving it all on the field. You can say that for sure, but Dush has a leadoff base hit. This game started with Vanderzowen and McCullough being retired in back-to-back.
The right fielder, David Vanderzowen.
And that 5 spot came with 2 outs and the bases empty. Hallmark of some of the best Blue Sox teams in years past as they look to get back to the top of the ICL mound. Here's a little bloop job into center field. 2 on, nobody out to start the top of the fourth.
Now batting, the second baseman, Jesse McCullough.
So DVZ has a base hit. Dush has a base hit. First and second, nobody out in front of Jesse McCullough. And we've long known that the Blue Sox offense is capable of these, rallies out of thin air. The first 2 are retired just as you think you're settling in as a pitcher. They rug pull you. However, okay, 1-1. However, not getting the leadoff man aboard has been the difference in some of these games for the Blue Sox and spots where they had to come through. Driven the other way into right center field. And that'll be caught for out number 1. The throw comes to third. Dush gets there safely. Runners at the corners, 1 down for Eric Ramirez.
Now batting, the third baseman, Eric Ramirez.
One upshot of this situation is that you are a pitch away from getting out of this unscathed if you are Matt Chiodo, son of Joe Chiodo, who is the manager of the Watertown Reds, played for many years in this here Intercity League. Faced the Blue Sox. This is a pickoff attempt that is secured this time by Ferris, but still Vanderzowen safe at first. Reds made it to the ICL Championship Series 3 times, I believe it was, in the years that I've covered the Blue Sox. And one of those times was not even against the Blue Sox. It was against the Cassell Club. In 2006, my first year with the team. And towering pop-up on the right side of the infield, and that'll be caught for out number 2 by Ferris. And boy, not the kind of at-bat you'd expect from Eric Ramirez. So now it's up to Anderson.
Now batting, the center fielder, Nick Anderson.
And 2006 was the last time before 2023 that the Blue Sox did not make the ICL Championship Series. 1 hop throw into second, not in time. Stolen base for DVZ. Dush stays put at third, so it takes away 1 option to get out of this inning, a potential force at second. So Nick Anderson with a couple of guys in scoring position, hoping to make it crazy 8s. Chiodo comes set. Ooh. Chiodo introducing himself rather rudely to Nick. last time. The Reds also made it to the ICL Championship Series. The count is 2-1. Also made it to the ICL Championship Series in 2010 and 2018. Alcis Herrera with a gem in the clincher of that championship series against Watertown. 2-2 is the count. And it's full. Payoff. Driven deep to left center field, and this is gonna go. Mr. Anderson with a three-piece to make it 9-0.
Now batting the shortstop, Luis Atiles.
Nick Anderson pops his second home run of the year. RBIs 22, 23, and 24. Run number 17. Hit number 25. Grounder the other way off the bat of Atiles. In time at first, the side is retired, but Mr. Anderson says, give me a three-piece to go. And we are halfway home, 9-0 Blue Sox. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly for all the deets. Klein, Libby, and Bourgeois due up here in the bottom of the fourth for the Melrose Americans. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame. You can't get fooled again. I don't remember even I don't remember the order of that phrase. But yeah, Nick Anderson did not get fooled again his second time around against Matt Chiodo. The 3-run shot the opposite way to extend the Blue Sox lead to 9-0. And they are in full cruise control mode, that is for sure. And they will get the winner of the 4-5 one-game playoff, whichever teams those end up being. Coldonado back out there for his fourth inning of work. And a foul tip into the mid of Max Dushny for a strikeout and out number 1.
Now batting the left fielder, Ian Libby.
fifth and final playoff team is still to be decided. However, if I'm doing my math correctly, I'm pretty sure that the Chiefs can't be the number 4 seed. If the Chiefs get into the playoffs, they will be the 5 seed. If I remember correctly, because the Bulldogs would have to. Yeah, exactly. The Bulldogs own the tiebreaker against the Chiefs already. They've beaten them 2 out of 2 times and looking to make it a clean sweep tonight. They visit the Chiefs in Maplewood. The other way, a lot of space down there on the left field line. That's going to drop for a base hit. Wide turn, but Libby holds up.
Now batting, the catcher, Brian Bortz.
Here's Bourgeois. To look for a moment. Where is Eric Ramirez? There's nobody on the left side for the right-handed batter, but he's behind the pole on the left side of the backstop as you look at it here. 1-0 is the count. There he is, screen back over the left. It's a kind of swing that would get you to say a huge three-pointer by Curry to cut the lead to 42 or whatever. 1-1. Foul tip, 1-2. Fouled in the screen. We'll do it again at 1-2. The Americans win. The Bulldogs lose. Americans clinch a first-round bye. That could mean second or third. Driven deep to left center field, about the same spot where Anderson hit his. Two-run homer for Ryan Burgess. Bourgeois, tomato, 9-2.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Tad Jardinha.
For Cole Donato, that is the first home run he's given up this year. And Giardino bloop into center field, and that'll get down in front of Anderson. So a little bit of a rally here being put together by the Americans on 3 straight base hits at this point. Still a long way to Tipperary, though.
Now batting, the third baseman, Sean McVie.
Donato's already surpassed his season high in strikeouts. Which is, in fact, his career high. Only had as many as 3 in a game last year and set his career high last time out with 6. I don't think he's got time for any more as Rick DeAngelis comes out to give Cole Donato the rest of the night. We have a pitching change coming to you from pitching change coming to you from Morelli. I need some water. Tucker, honey, this is your mother. Come watch your brother. Jake Deschanel taking the mound after 3 1/3 by Cole Donato. Giardina's base hit chasing Cole. And now Jake Deschanel falling behind McPhee 1-0. This is only the second appearance of the year for Jake. Hits the outside corner for strike one. His last appearance came in a similarly lopsided game. That was the win against the Sabres in Stoneham, the Sunday Hardcore Matinee on July 20th. Grounder up the middle. Thank you very much. As a oh, he tried to do a razzle-dazzle flip to second, maybe for at least the force, but his momentum was carrying him a bit too quickly over the first base side, and everybody is safe.
Now batting, the first baseman, Daniel Eric.
That one went up the skee ball ramp as Atiles was coming in behind the bag. Had a chance, but to no avail. Now Ferris with 2 on in front of him. And Deschanel gets strike one in there. Now Jake went an inning against the Sabres on July 20th. Did not allow a hit, a run, or a walk. He hit one batter, but struck out one as well. Off the end of the bat to left center field, Anderson. Nope, it's going to be the left fielder making the catch. Ryan Grundy.
Now batting, the center fielder, Alex Fernandez.
2 down. Here's Alex Fernandez, the second time. 2 runs in the inning so far for the Americans on the home run by Ryan Bourgeois. Looking for more here from Fernandez. Takes down away for a ball. 1-0. Ground to the left side, that'll be a foul ball. For Bourgeois, it's his 3rd home run of the year and 14th and 15th ribbies. In just 13 games, he has the team lead in that category. The 2 leaders, the top 2 RBI getters for the Americans this year have played in less than half of their games. Bourgeois and Costigan, entering play, only played in 12 games each and led the team with 13 and 11 ribbies apiece. Fernandez into left field towards the corner. Foul ball. You didn't fisk it in time. All you did was watch it. So a sigh of relief there for Jake Deschanel. This game takes a takes on a very different complexion if Fernandez is able to keep that one fair. And even that stayed in the park fair. There's a lot of room there. Ducheny has to fire to first and got the out to complete the strikeout, the 2-3 to retire the side. The Americans will just have to settle for the 2-run home run by Ryan Bourgeois. 4 in the books, 9-2, Blue Sox. When I say LSP is something for everyone since 2011, I, by God, mean it. Sports, live events, pet sitting, walking, tech help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need. We go to the top of the 5th. And Anderson Jimenez.
Now batting, the extra hitter, Anderson Jimenez.
Jimenez, Grundy, and Acosta due up here in the top of the 5th for the Blue Sox, up 9-2. Chiodo misses up and away for a ball. 1-0. Both teams on their second pitcher of the game. It's been Chiodo since 2 outs in the second. And vanquished Nick Anderson. The strikeout to leave the bases loaded for the Blue Sox. Anderson was not fooled the next time around, though, with a 3-piece the other way to left center. And Anderson Jimenez will enjoy a leisurely stroll up to first to begin the top of the 5th.
Now batting, the left fielder, Ryan Grundy.
Here's Grundy. Big ripper that time, but fouls it straight back for strike 1. Again, nothing at stake for the Blue Sox tonight. They have the number 1 seed wrapped up, and I realize I have the wrong code there for what was clinched. Fly ball to center. Fernandez catches it for out number 1.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Brian Acosta.
Oh, we got a pinch hitter here for Brian Acosta. It's going to be Steven Rodriguez.
Excuse me, pinch hitter will be Steven Rodriguez.
That is going to run inside for ball 1 to Steven Rodriguez. Playing his 5th game and looking for his first Blue Sox hit. He is 0 for 6 with 5 Ks. Ahead of Chiodo 2-0, though. Fouls that one off the other way. And the count will be 2-1. Appears to be another pinch hitter waiting in the wings for the Blue Sox in the first baseman Luke Ward slot. It'll be Pat Casserly. But right now the task at hand is Steven Rodriguez down ahead 2-0. Now even the count 2-2, and Chiodo trying to put him away. He'll step off. So it's Pat Casserly due up next, judging by the Mr. number 14 in the on-deck circle. Curveball, strike 3 called. 2 down, and here is Cass.
Now batting, number 14, Pat Casserly.
Cass playing in his 15th game of the year, slashing 250, 348, 300. 1 double and 6 ribbies. Cass pinch hitting for Luke Ward. Comes up empty there, 0-2. Cass did not play in the game back on June 9th here against the Americans. Flares this one into center field, and that will be caught by Fernandez for the out that retires the side. 4.5 in the books, still 9-2. Blue Sox. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts. or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Email yours truly for game videos or go to Creator Spring for merch. New noodle for the Blue Sox will be the left-hander and BC product, Dan Metz Dramatic Pause Dorf. If you know, you know. I don't think even Dan knows. I mean, he would have. I don't know. Anyway. Danny playing in his 4th game of the year. His first 3 appearances were an inning each. This is his first one since July 9th against the Brighton Braves. No decisions, a 2.33 ERA. Just 1 hit, 1 earned run with 1 walk and 3 Ks. And that 1 hit and 1 run and 1 walk all came in the same game against the Lexington Bulldogs. Opening night for the Blue Sox on May 27th. His last 2 appearances, which were against Al Thomas and Brighton, struck out the side in each.
Now batting the shortstop, Pat Costigan.
So Costigan will be the first one to greet the new noodle. And Metzdorf ready to go to work against top 3 hitters in the American order, Costigan, Berry, and Jennings. Swing and a miss by Pat Costigan for strike 1. Last year in the regular season in 3 games, Metzdorf had no decisions at a 2.33 in 6 innings. 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 11 Ks through 1 wild pitch. Did not face the Americans last year. Pitched 1 inning against the Sabres on June 5th, 2 against the Padres on July 10th, and 3 against ADSL on July 23rd of last year. Speaking of 3, that's the magic number, and it's the unlucky number for Costigan. Strike 3, 1 down. Here's the right fielder, Barry. Costigan, his lone appearance of the postseason last year on August 16th against the Chiefs. Went 4 innings, allowed 1 hit, no runs with 2 walks, 6 Ks, 1 hit batsman, and 1 wild pitch. And he's shoving right now against the top 3 of the Melrose order. One and 2 is the count. That was the strike. I just had it as 0-2 already, so now it's 1 and 2, and counts good. Speak it into existence, right? Fouled off. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Cole's 8 strikeouts are a season high for him.
Career high, actually. I looked up. Yep. Yep. In fact, the 6s last time out were the career high up to that point. 8 Ks for Cole, career high. Two up, 2 down.
Now batting the extra hitter, John Jennings.
Let's see what Jennings can do against a hard-throwing lefty. Righty power hitter. Working quickly here, and this is down in for ball one. Shame we don't have Matty Karras up here very much anymore. I mean, he was, the quintessential speed runner for the Blue Sox, and plenty more of that strain in the Blue Sox pitching staff these days. Who needs a pitch clock, right? 1-1 to Jennings. It's not even the pace that Metzdorf works at. It's also the quickness of his actual windup. One and two the count for Metzdorf to Jennings. Up and in. 2-2. Same two teams tomorrow night to complete that game from early June that was suspended due to the rolling blackouts in Lexington on the first hot day of the summer. The Blue Sox, this game and the season finale tomorrow mean nothing in terms of playoff seeding. This last week means everything for just about everyone else. Up and in, full count. Well, the Americans down to their final 7 offensive outs, and the only way they could clinch a first-round bye tonight is with a win and a Bulldogs loss, and that seems unlikely, at least at the moment, but Jennings does draw a 2-out walk to prolong this bottom of the 5th.
Now batting, the second baseman, Chris Klein.
Everything else that could be clinched tonight does not depend on the result of this game. Here's Klein. 0-1. Is that a two-seamer with some very late and very sharp run back to the plate? That was nice. One was a count to Klein. Four of the 5 playoff teams have been set, but only one seed has been set, and that is the team that's winning 9-2 right now, the Blue Sox. In some order, 2 through 5, be the Mad Dogs, Americans, Bulldogs, and then either the Chiefs or the Expos. Chiefs 0-7-1 in their last 8. Just preposterous to think about. 2-2 is the count. Yet they still control their own destiny. If they win tonight, they've got the number 5. They've got the last playoff spot. Oh! If you don't wear, the hockey style catcher's mask behind the plate as an umpire, I don't know how you don't get absolutely rattled by a foul tip that comes up. I mean, the mask, it'll protect you. The mask will protect you only to a certain degree. Guess you got to build up tolerance to that to the point where you don't flinch, just like me behind home plate at LHS all these years. And even then, not immune. 2-2. Popped up in a foul territory, and that's going to get out of play. Strike 3 called. Breaking ball comes back over the plate. Striking out the side does Dan Metzdorf after 5, 9-2. Still, Blue Sox. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. It's the right thing to do. Jake Simpson takes over on the mound for the Melrose Americans. Third noodle of the day for Melrose. Simpson making his 6th appearance of the year. 2-0 with a 480 in 11 and 2/3 innings. He's allowed 12 hits, 10 runs, 8 of which are earned, walked 5, struck out 9, and surrendered 2 home runs. Best outing of the year back on June 18th against Palmer of the Park League as Dush goes fishing for strike 1. Went 5 and 2/3 and allowed 4 hits and 1 earned run with 1 walk, 3 Ks. Did surrender a home run, hit a batter though. Ooh, Olay. 1 down is... Boy, Ferris had to stretch to get that one, and then his glove hand came down on the dirt hard to just trying to secure that. Nice play on both ends of the diamond by McPhee and Ferris for out number 1. Lineup turns over for DVZ, who takes a strike, 0-1. Open away for ball, 1-1. Oh. Coming in hot, and DVZ lucky to hold up there. Now having the count 2-1. Fouls that one off. 2-2. Tomorrow night, as Simpson could not break that one back into the inner part of the zone, full count. Tomorrow night, Malden takes on Palmer of the Park League, 7:45 at Town Field in Dorchester. And Koskin throws out DVZ there, 2 down.
Now batting the second baseman, Jesse McCullough.
And, of course, the Americans and the Blue Sox. And Wednesday, we wrap things up. The Bulldogs will host East Boston at LHS. Ground to the left side. A couple of hops. Strong throw in time to get the speedy McCullough. I believe that's the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for Americans pitching. The Blue Sox still lead 9-2 after 5.5. Again, next broadcast tomorrow night, 8 o'clock first pitch, quote-unquote first pitch, for the completion of that suspended game between the Blue Sox and the Americans. Will be at LHS. It's the end of the regular season, and then the Blue Sox set their sights on another ring after that. Jenna, honey, this is your mother. Come watch your brother. Robbie Cobb takes the mound for the Blue Sox. Fourth pitcher of the night for the Blue Sox after Donato, Deschanel, and Dan Metzdorf. And Robbie, making his third appearance of the season. 0-1 with a 1677. Took the loss against the Boston A's on June 17th. Going just a third of an inning. Allowing 3 hits, 4 earned runs with 1 walk and no Ks. This is his first appearance since then. Before that was June 9th against these Americans in this very ballpark. Inning, a third, 1 hit, no runs, no walks. And 1 K. Cobb in his 5th year with the team. Fly ball into center. Caught for out number 1. Best year was in 2022. In 30 innings of work, he went 4-1 with a 373 and 43 hits, 20 runs, 16 of which were earned, walked 5 and struck out 22. Here's Bourgeois, who's driven in the only Americans' runs tonight with his 2-run home run earlier. 0-1 is the count. We're in the bottom of the 6th. The Blue Sox on their way to win number 21. Bourgeois looking for home run number 2 of the ball game. Putt. Dies just a foot shy. Get a long run, but left fielder hauls it in for out number 2.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Tad Jardinha.
Well, the temperature's cooled off considerably since first pitch, and a little bit more moisture in the air. Maybe half an hour ago that one's gone. At that point, but now, ain't happening. So 2 down, and Giardina flares this one the other way off the end of the bat, backpedaling and making the catch. Is the right fielder for the out there, retires the side. We go to the 7th. 9-2. Blue Sox. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the codes and link on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a discount from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is.
Now batting the third baseman, Eric Ramirez.
Ramirez, Anderson, and Atiles due up here in the top of the 7th for the Blue Sox. Ramirez comes up empty and shaking out his right knee for a moment here. And it's not a sight you want to see if you are a Blue Sox fan. Game that, that's one of the dangers of in these games at the end of the season when you don't have anything more to play for, positioning or berth at all. 0-2. Ramirez, of course, a couple plate appearances shy of the number necessary to be the top, qualify for the batting average and OPS leaderboards and so on. It's gone to the 65 number at this point. That was entering play tonight. In the Intercity League, in a 7-inning regulation games, instead of the 3.1 plate appearances per team game played, math is generally 2.5 per team game played. And Ramirez flies out to center for out number 1 here in the 7th.
Now batting the center fielder, Nick Anderson.
Anderson, after getting his revenge on Matt Chiodo, now deals with Simpson. He's behind 0-1. 0-2. Why not both? Gotcha. One hop. And a late decision to flip to the pitcher covering, but in time for out number 2. Brendan Doyle, by the way, caught for the Blue Sox last half inning and would assume it's going back out there for the bottom of the 7th in the field as well as we have Luis Atiles.
Now batting the shortstop, Luis Atiles.
So the Blue Sox look like they're going to get to win number 21. The Americans look like they're going to fall to 15-10-1 as a broken bat by Atiles, grounder to Cost again, double clutch in time for a 1-2-3 top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Closing time for the Blue Sox. Advertising. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot. Whether you want to promote a business, proctor, event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach, email yours truly for all the deets. And another new noodle for the Blue Sox. It'll be Josh Becker to try and get the final 3 outs.
Now pitching for the Blue Sox, number 24, Josh Becker.
Becker making his 10th appearance of the year. 2-0 with 2 saves and a .538 ERA. In 13 innings of work, he has allowed 8 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 26. That is good for 2 strikeouts per inning. Last pitched on July 23rd against the Chiefs, went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run with 1 walk and 4 Ks. And he has no appearance this year in which he has had less than 1 strike, average less than 1 strikeout per inning over the course of the entire appearance. And he has only 2 appearances this year where he even had 1 strikeout per inning. Now, we got a save against the Expos on July 13th in 1 inning of work. And allowed 2 hits but no runs against the Malden Mad Dogs on July 11th in 1 inning of work. But he got all 6 of his outs against ADSL back on June 26th by way of the K, picking up the win in that game.
Now batting the third baseman, Sean McPhee.
That appearance against the Chiefs on July 23rd, though, was controversial because that was the one where he committed 2 balks. Umpires telling the Blue Sox and Becker in that moment that he had not come set fully with the runners on base, and it was first and second when that fiasco began, and then 1 balk got him into scoring position. The second balk brought home a run to get the Chiefs within 1, and then the Chiefs tied the game. Then Blue Sox were unable to beat the clock after getting to the 9th, tied at 5, scored 3 in the top of the 9th, but could not start the bottom of the 9th in time before the lights went out at Maplewood. 1-2. Outside, 2-2 as Doyle tried to frame it there. And talk about how that game goes. The Chiefs had won that game. They had a chance to win it. Turn the right field around here, but good job staying with it. Round number 1.
Now batting the first baseman, Daniel Ferris.
So McPhee is retired. Here's Ferris. If the Blue Sox do pick up the win in that game, though, you're not merely looking at a team that is unbeaten in 16 straight and looking to make it 17 straight. You're looking at a team that otherwise would be on the cusp of a 17th consecutive victory. As it stands, however, it stands pretty good to be unbeaten in 16 in a row and looking to make it 17. So, since that point where they were 5-5 through the first 10, they're about to pick up 33 out of a possible 34 points. 1-2 is the count. And when you go unbeaten that long at the right time, well, no wonder you just kick your feet up these last couple of games here, the Blue Sox. But again, don't kick your feet up too much. Still got a ship to win. You don't want your guys to get rusty. Full count. Blue Sox last ICL championship came in 2021. Yeah, I know. Woe is us. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down. The Americans down to their final out.
Now pitch hitting for the Americans, number 1, Dylan Harrington.
And Dylan Harrington will grab a bat as the last hope for Melrose. Yeah, I know, the Blue Sox haven't won a championship since 2021, but in the franchise history, this is rare air for the Blue Sox to, at this point, have gone 3 consecutive seasons without winning a championship. There have been 3 such stretches in team history where they went 3 consecutive years without winning the Intercity League title. One was their first 3 years in the league, 95, 96, and 97. The second was the 3 years after their first title, 98, 99, 2000, and 2001. So to be on this championship drought is rare air for the Blue Sox. Rare air that they have not sniffed in 20 years. 3-1. Making the postseason, that's not an issue. Having a loaded and deep roster, that's not an issue. That pitch being ball 4, maybe a different story. We continue.
Now batting the shortstop, Pat Costigan.
Lineup turns over for Pat Costigan. Hunting's no fun when your prey doesn't move. And the longer you go without a ship, though, the sweeter the victory could be. But nothing's guaranteed. Blue Sox have found themselves in pickles before and sometimes haven't been able to get out. But sometimes, your opposition looks and say, hey, they're not invincible. And then something like a postseason no-hitter by Drew Wienhouse against the Somerville Royals happens to just turn the narrative right back around. 1-1. Fouled off, and the Americans down to their final strike. But this is the most in sync, complete, most talented, deepest Blue Sox team I have seen since returning from death's door. Flare to short. Ball game. 21, 5-1, 17 in a row unbeaten for the Lexington Blue Sox. They win 9-2. Nick Anderson with a 3-run home run.
Final score tonight, Lexington Blue Sox 9, Melrose Americans 2. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Please drive home safely.
And a 5 spot in the top of the first after the first 2 were retired. It's vintage Blue Sox, as Michael Cole might say. He also might say some other things, of course. We watched SummerSlam this weekend. But the Blue Sox now 21-5-1. Doesn't really change anything on their end, but it does make things maybe a little more complex for the Americans. Again, they don't have to worry about a playoff berth. They've got that wrapped up, but still a lot to be sorted out in these last 2 days of the 2025 Intercity League season, including the actual, thrilling conclusion of that suspended game. That comes tomorrow night, 8 o'clock at LHS. Chris Del Sordo, take notes. So with that said, this has been a presentation of LSP, something for everyone since 2011. Copyright 2025, unauthorized redistribution of any portion of this broadcast without the express written permission of LSP or the Blue Sox is strictly prohibited. A reminder that if you want to support future LSP content, you can buy shipping shields using the link and codes on the screen or in the description. Sponsor our future content with ads as little as $25 a spot. Hire us to work your next game, live event, or whatever else we can do for you on any given day. Buy some of this fabulous merchandise from the Creator Spring store, or DVDs or digital video copies of past LSP video broadcasts. And, of course, if you're down with the sound, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash the subscribe button. PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. All the cool kids are doing it. And we'll see you fine folks right here. Same team, same channel, different ballpark. Center field at LHS. 8 o'clock first pitch, quote-unquote first, for the thrilling conclusion of that suspended game between the Americans and the Blue Sox, and the thrilling conclusion of the 2025 Intercity League regular season. And, of course, you can support the ICL all season long at intercityleaguebaseball.com and on Facebook, the Intercity League page. Once again, the final score from Morelli Field at Melrose High School in Melrose, Mass. It is the Lexington Blue Sox 9 and the Melrose Americans 2. For all my righty friends here at Morelli, my name is Sam Feely, reminding you forever and always, freelance isn't free. Thanks for tuning in, fresh for 2025, suckers. Love you, Katrina.